David from living near Brisbane in Australia. What my intention is not to have a debate or a big long story about what stuttering is and what stuttering isn't, etc., etc. What I'd like to do is just tell you briefly about who I represent and some things which may or may not help you. So my first thing I'd like to share with you, if you can write this down on your phone or a piece of paper or your screen, I have created a YouTube channel called Stutter Tube Australia. That's one word, StutterTubeAustralia. Are we all clear with that? It's one word, Stutter Tube Australia. I did this as a resource for stutterers, especially those who could not meet up with others face to face so easily, and someone who might have a query or a problem from overseas, perhaps. Please write away in the chat box. So what the most important thing on that channel to me is, for someone who is struggling with their speech, if you're struggling and you'd like to try the technique that most of us learnt in Australia, the technique I learned, on the video or on the channel, if you click videos towards the end, there's a thing called Easy Speech DVD 1 and DVD 2. DVD 1 is a therapist who lives near Brisbane, and she presents about an hour-long free course of how to modify your speech and use this technique. The second video, number 2, is by a psychologist who also lives near the First Lady, who talks about the psychology of why we stutter. I'm not pretending either one will answer every question you have or cure you, but I can tell you this. I also run a fortnightly Zoom meeting, and we've had a person from Papua New Guinea, we've had a lady from Ireland, we've had a guy from London, and there's been a few more from Japan. But the first 3 I mentioned, they got into this course fairly seriously. And now on the same channel, if you look up Sandra from Ireland, you can hear her version of how it's helped. So I'm trying to just say, in case you get nothing else from me this afternoon, if you or somebody else would like to try a way to modify your speech, to speak a bit like the way I'm speaking, it's different for everyone, but I've gone from a nervous stutterer all through primary, high school, to the age of about 32 or 3. And now I certainly don't think of myself as a stutterer, but when I hear people who struggle, and there are some in our group who can't seem to, they have good days and bad days. So that's all I'm doing is sharing what I think is great. I'm sure there are other ways as well. So a couple of simple things also I want to share. Deepika, would you mind being a guinea pig for me today?
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
Now,
Sure.
now, keep in mind, I am not a speech therapist, but
Okay.
this is just something which I think can be helpful. Okay,
Oh,
so
okay.
every
Sure.
everybody who wants to give this a go, just follow what I say. But Deepika will be the guinea pig.
Okay.
So let's spend about 30 seconds breathing in and out through our noses, through our nose. So you breathe in, hold, and breathe out through your nose slowly. Breathe in slowly, 2, 3, hold, and slowly out. Now, you're not going to pick this up effectively in the time I have, but I think it can help. So, Deepika, are you able to breathe through your nose?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Right.
Yes. Okay.
Well,
I
take some deep, slow breaths in through your nose. Hold it for a couple of seconds, then exhale through your nose. Totally relax. Forget that Robert's looking at you, and Dejira and Risha and Marvin. Close your eyes. It's okay. So when we finish Zooming, it would be far better to do this for 5 or 10 minutes properly. Okay? This is a rush version. Okay. So, Deepika, keep breathing slowly. I'm going to do the same. And I'm going to say something. And I want you to copy the exact word on the outward slow breath at the same rate I am. Is that okay? Right.
Yes.
So here we go. I'll breathe in. 1.
Wow.
All right. So breathe in through your nose slowly again. Hold. Breathe out.
Okay.
1.
Wow.
Good. It's like you're a bit drunk or you slur the words. You go 1.
Wow.
Yeah. Longer, please. 1.
One.
That's more what I'm after.
Okay.
1.
One.
Right. Look, for time's sake, I'll rush through it, but then I would say to you, do this. 2.
Two.
When you've got that down, you say 1, 2.
One. Two.
So the voice, the words are all on the same breath. There's no gap. It's 1, 2.
1, 2.
Think another way to conceptualize is a song. I don't know what music you would know that I know, but a nursery rhyme in English is Mary had a little lamb. So you
Yeah.
say, Mary had a little lamb. So every word is joined together. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so I can try.
Go ahead.
She so wherever she goes, uh, I just
Yeah. Now isn't the time to go through it with you individually for an hour. But if you can grasp what I'm trying to say, you can do it. You can get a book on your own. Anyone can, and have plenty of pauses. So if you had a newspaper, you might say, here is the weather, and you pause. Today in Mumbai, pause. It will rain at 12 o'clock. You're joining every word together, but you start slow, and I advise you to record yourself with your phone or similar. And if you like what you hear, you play it back to yourself, and you play it back every day. And that's just the beginning of what I'm trying to say, help me. So the idea of the nose breathing, if you look up YouTube's about nasal breathing, there's lots of evidence that it relaxes you. It slows you down. So look up YouTube and try to breathe through your nose and relax.
yeah. So uh, th- thank you, David. That was very relaxing. So actually, I'm a yoga practitioner. So I do Kriya yoga every day. So I do the uh, uh, whole set of the pranayama. But
Right.
yeah, so uh, but I also uh, liked the way you explained that that you listen to your voice every day.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
You, you're going to model good speech. Now, I've mentioned my email in the chat. Did you see that?
yeah,
Right.
I did. Yes,
Yeah.
did see that.
If you or anyone is interested, I run a Zoom every Wednesday fortnight,
Okay.
and the next Zoom is Wednesday week.
Okay.
If you email me, I'll be happy to send you the link. It's only for an hour, and this Wednesday fortnight, we have a guest speaker who is extremely experienced with coaching people to be more fluent. Also, on that Stutter Tube Australia, you will see stories by individuals about their speech journey. So if you or Robert or anybody else listening there would like to record your speech story, I'd love to put it on Stutter Tube. There's a lady you'll notice on there called Amanda. She is also a yoga teacher. She's
Okay.
not quite qualified. She does her final assessment in June, I believe. But she will hopefully be there Wednesday week, and
Okay.
she'd have something in common with you.
Okay.
So I've gone through, there's a lot of resources on Stutter Tube from different people, some American, some people like myself, and some therapists. Another bit of fun is if you go, does anyone use AI to any degree? No? Artificial intelligence? No? Right. One of the other problems that stutterers have in general is they're not assertive. They would
Yeah.
hate to interrupt somebody when everyone looks at them, that kind of concept. So I've found something on there which could be a little bit of help. Now, if you can write this down again on some paper or your phone or your computer, there's a website or an address called SESAME.com. The word is like sesame, SESAME.com. There's no registration, no email required. All you do is click on that, and it says something like bringing the computer voice to life. And all you have to do is click demo, the word demo. It comes up with a split screen. You can speak to a male voice or a female voice. And you click on one of those of your choice. It asks you to give permission to use your microphone, and then you're away. And this voice will talk to you. And the first thing you could do is say, hey, there's the lady's called Myra or somebody, and the bloke's called Miles. The first thing you could do is say, hey, Miles, I want to let you know I'm a stutterer. So don't speak quite so fast or whatever you want to say. But that's being assertive. You're starting to be assertive. And you could say, Miles, what do you know about yoga or fishing or whatever topic takes your fancy?
Okay.
And if he or she starts to talk too fast, you can say, hey, slow down. Now, we used this thing a few weeks ago on our Zoom, and we had 15 people. And we asked, like I shared the screen, and I asked Miles to be the cashier in McDonald's. So we had a role play. So you could invent your own role play. And so there was 15 people, and the idea was the first guy would say, hi, Miles, this is Kevin. I'd want a Big Mac and a black coffee. And Miles would sort of repeat it back, and give a comment, and you might change your mind. So we went through 15 people doing that. And at the end of it, I asked him to read it back to us. And he almost got it exact. There was a couple whose connection wasn't overly clear. That was on a Wednesday. 2 days later, I was in a cafe with a friend somewhere else, and I mentioned this to him. And so I logged on to my phone to the same site, and he says, "Hi, this is Miles." And I said, "Remember me, David?" And he said, sure I do." And I thought, "You're kidding." And I said, "Remember in McDonald's?" And he paused and he said, "Yeah, that's right. We had a big order." He said, "Kevin wanted a Big Mac and black coffee." And this thing could remember, he didn't get it all right, but it was remarkable what this voice could do. So you can make fun of the whole concept by all means, but imagine where this will be in 5 or 10 years' time, how it could help. So it's up to us. If you want to use AI to your benefit, find a way that will help you. It is quite remarkable. And I even asked him to tell me I stuttered on purpose and I spoke too fast on purpose. And I asked him to tell me if I'm stuttering or speaking too fast. And in a fashion, he did. He's not a speech therapist, but it's remarkable how far it's come. And as I just said, imagine in 5 or 10 years' time. The last thing I want to share is a more fun thing. Back to AI. If you go onto Stutter Tube Australia, when you click the icon, you have the option of, I think it's home, videos, and shorts. You know what shorts are, I guess. So on the shorts page, I made up a song about our upcoming Mount Alfred retreat, and it's to do with stuttering. There's another video in the middle of the other videos called the Smooth Speech Song. So you can go into ChatGPT, put some words in, and say, make this into a poem or a song, and then copy and paste that into a program called Suno, which is spelled SUNO. And from there, you can make up your own songs. So that's really all I wanted to say. You're all welcome, who's left, to join us whenever. Have a look at Stutter Tube Australia, and by all means, have some fun with AI. Any questions?
So what time does your group start on a Wednesday?
Yes, it's on at 7 p.m. Brisbane time.
7
You
p.m.
would know Mark Irwin, wouldn't you, Robert?
Yes, 7 p.m.
You know Mark Irwin?
Yeah, I've been trying to get on there, but you find that it always slips my mind. I get there. Oh, that's right.
Robert,
so
if you would like to share your phone number, either by email or by chat, I normally send out a text about 2 hours before to the regulars to remind them if they want to come on.
Oh, okay. All right,
You
cool.
send me your mobile and you'll get a text a couple of hours before.
Okay, all right, cool.
So you'd be more than welcome to join us.
Yeah, of course.
And tell us all about yourself.
That's right.
Okay, I assume it's just you and me now. All right, no more questions?
No, thank you. No.
I'll just chat. Okay. Australia. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I think that's it. Rightio. Well, thank you, Marvin, and thank you, Tom. And I'll say thank you, and maybe, hopefully, see you next year, perhaps.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. I'll see you next year, and or maybe this year sometime. I don't know.
Yep.
Who knows?
Oh,
And
the peak is still there.
huh? What was that?
Sorry, Deepika, I thought she'd gone, but she's popped back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Deepika, we get a guy from.
So
Sorry.
Yes.
We have a couple of regulars from Pakistan on there, one who's moved to London, but one who's still there. And there's a Zoom on Sunday nights with a very lovely guy from India. He's on there regularly. So anyway, join us once or twice and see if you enjoy it.
So I just wanted to ask, means like, are there any cost? Is there any cost to it, or is it means do we means there is there whatever work is being done, so is there any price, is there any price for that?
Deepika, your voice was very jumpy with the speaker, but if I heard you correctly, you
Okay.
said, is there any cost? There is no cost.
Yes.
There is no
Okay.
cost to join our Zoom or to look at that easy speech course or anything else we
Okay.
do. The
Okay.
only cost we have is if you want to come to Australia, we have a 3-day retreat, and that's a song about
Okay.
Mount Alfred, and that costs money because of food and accommodation. But no, nothing
right.
else, no cost, all free.
Okay,
So
fine.
hope to see you one day.
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.